Howdy, howdy, and welcome to Mo's World, the baseball podcast. We're excited to bring you our latest episode. Your feedback is important to us, so please feel free to share your comments. Awesome. If you enjoy the podcast, spread the word to your friends. In our 29th episode of Season 2, we are going to look at the status of the blown saves leaders. That's right. You know that this has been our theme this season, and we're checking it out each month to see how the improvement or the disasters keep changing. Well, currently our team leaders in blown saves from July 11th, to remind you, were the Angels with 21, the Red Sox with 18, the Mariners, Blue Jays, Diamondbacks, Mets, Phillies, and A's all with 17 blown saves, and the Rangers with 16, and the Rays, Pirates, and Rockies with 15. So we've had an interesting month. Current team leaders in blown saves are the Angels holding their lead at 24. The Red Sox only having 2 in this month, but they're still in second place with 20. The Mariners in third place still with 19. The Diamondbacks and Mets with 18. The Blue Jays with 17. The Rays with 17. The Phillies and Rangers all with 17. And ending up the list is the White Sox, Pirates, Marlins, and Dodgers at 16, and the Braves at 15. So we've got a lot of addition, a lot of ties there. We went from having 10 teams in the lead to going now to 15. So it appears like many teams have kind of improved in blown saves this month. But is that true? No, because this month has been terrible in teams blowing games before they're even in a save situation. The pitching is getting worse and worse this year. So let's take a look at the bullpen ERAs and the innings as opposed to our previous check a month ago. So what do we have? The top relievers last month were as far as team-wise, were the Giants, Padres, Astros, Cubs, and Rangers, with the innings thrown the most by the Blue Jays at 355 and the Red Sox at 348, which was kind of concerning for the high totals. Wow, look at the change in leaders this month. Yep, we've got the Padres still up there, but now they're joined by the Rangers, Red Sox, Astros, and Giants. The Padres lead in innings pitched, but it's only 414, and the Red Sox are number 2 now in bullpen innings pitched at only 413. But all the other teams on the top lead are only about 10 innings away. So it's pretty impressive. The Padres sitting at a 3.02 team ERA, and the Rangers at 3.33, the Red Sox 3.33, the Astros 3.35, the Giants at 3.39, very close, all of them. The Guardians at 3.57, the Mariners at 3.65, the Cardinals at 3.71, and the Rays at 3.75, and the top 10 starting staff, relief staff, is the Kansas City Royals, number 10 at 3.78. And the innings are very similar. I mean, we don't see that discrepancy like we have in the previous months as far as one team throwing much more than the other. You know, I mean, we're looking at the top teams of 414 innings pitched down to 398 for the Guardians, 390 for the Rays. Pretty impressive. So it's clear that the Red Sox rise in the standings and surpassing the Yankees is no fluke. They are showing much more consistent starting pitching, which reduces their reliance on the bullpen. Duh, right? I mean, that's not rocket science. By lessening the innings pitched by the bullpen now, they will directly enhance their overall performance come playoff time, if these teams make the playoffs. Now, speaking of that, looking at the Atlanta Braves, wow, we can really understand the struggles of this team this year. Last month, the Braves were ranked 8th in the league with an ERA of the bullpen of 3.54. Not bad, you know? And moreover, the bullpen pitched a league low 304 innings. Now, this clearly indicates that the Braves were indeed struggling on offense, as their starting pitchers were keeping them in games longer and saving the bullpen. So, what happened? Currently, the Braves rank 19th in bullpen ERA with an ERA of 4.18. They have also thrown 389 innings, which is the most bullpen innings in the majors over the past month. It appears that the Braves have been struggling with their starting rotation and are still experiencing inconsistency in the bullpen. Now, this situation reflects a common challenge for many teams this year. Adding injuries and underperforming seasons from several players has resulted in a disastrous year for the Braves. It feels like a lost season for them, and I totally agree. And as the infamous Brooklyn Dodgers chant goes, wait till next year. That is the only hope for Braves fans. Now, it is quite interesting that the top 10 bullpens in ERA include teams like the Guardians, the Giants, Cardinals, Rays, and Royals. Many of these teams have faced struggles with their offense all year, yet they are receiving solid performances from both starting and relief pitchers. Now, most teams would prefer to be in such a position. You know, we can expect these teams to have a better outlook for 2026. When discussing bullpen performance, it's also essential to consider how the top 10 teams with the best starting pitchers are faring. I mean, who are the leaders in this category? Well, the Rangers are going old school with their starters, and it's making a significant impact. I mean, their solid pitching is a key reason the Rangers are back in the wild card race. Looking at the list of top starting staffs, I predict we could be looking at the World Series winner. So who are they? The Texas Rangers at 3.22 ERA. The Milwaukee Brewers at 3.34. The Phillies at 3.37. The Royals at 3.48. The Tigers with 3.53. Number 6, the New York Mets at 3.60. The Cincinnati Reds at 3.77. The Pittsburgh Pirates at 3.84. The San Francisco Giants at 3.88. And number 10 on the list, the New York Yankees at 3.90. So, wow. You know, the Rangers definitely are going old school. And this year, starting pitching will be crucial in the World Series. And the team that comes out on top will likely have a starting staff that's capable of pitching 7+ innings each game that they're in. So, out of that list that I just read, which are league leaders, Which team would you bet on under that criteria? The Rangers? The Brewers? The Phillies? Or maybe the Tigers? And what about a late season run for a wild card spot by teams like the Reds, Giants, or even the Royals? Now, you heard I mention the Yankees, and most of these teams on this list seem to be playing well now. But unfortunately for the Yankees, I think it's clear that they are heading in the opposite direction in all areas. I seriously doubt they'll even make the playoffs. I'm sorry, Yankee fans, but it's time to start considering who you really want as a manager or GM. You might finally get your wish due to this season of struggles. So be careful what you wish for. This team has lost their window of opportunity. Window of opportunity. Remember that term for the next podcast. Hint, hint. Amazingly, let's look at the consistency of the Astros bullpen. They lead the majors again this month with only 12 blown saves all season. And they're followed by the Brewers, Padres with 13, Cubs with 13, and Royals with 13, and the surprising Reds at 14. They're not blowing any games. You know, of all the teams that could be capable of a late season run for the wild card, what about the Reds? You know, in spite of an incredibly cheap owner, the Reds were pretty successful at the trade deadline. If you're wondering who they acquired, they picked up Brian Hayes, third baseman, from the Pittsburgh Pirates. Now, Hayes is no hitting elite, but he does have elite defensive skills, and he's expected to enhance the Reds' infield. They picked up Zach Littell, starting pitcher from the Tampa Bay Rays. Now, Littell had a record of 8-8 with a 3.58 ERA and 22 starts with the Rays this year. And he's been known to be a consistent part of the rotation. And you have that word consistent, that's a help, right? So that's got to be a help for the Reds. But here's the guy that I like. They picked up Miguel Andujar from the Oakland A's. I'm still calling him Oakland, right? Bullshit, that's Vegas shit. Now, Andujar, he's got a strong record. He hits left-handers. He fucking kills them. And that's something that the Reds need. They need somebody to destroy left-handed pitching. And he does. And he hits for average, too. And I like him. I like the opportunity that he got with Oakland. And I hope with the Reds, he has the same. So these acquisitions were aimed at improving the team's defense, pitching, and overall offensive, you know, as they push for a postseason berth. Personally, like I said, getting Miguel Andujar, who's been on a tear of late, but then again, the whole friggin' A's lineup has been mashing the ball of late. Have you guys seen some of these scores? I think the A's have the most exciting starting lineup of any team in the majors. That's a pretty bold statement, right? I mean, there's a lot of good lineups out there, especially starting with the one in LA. But I'm talking of late and how they're gelling. It's too bad, though, that they possess absolutely zero pitching. None. I mean, not even a little bit. Now, go figure. When you trade your number 2 pitcher to the San Diego Padres, and after one ugly start, the pitcher gets demoted to their AAA affiliate in El Paso. That's what happened to J.P. Sears. And what about his compadre that he got traded with, Mason Miller? Well, he's not faring too well either with the Padres since the trade, as he is carrying a 9.00 ERA with his new team. So these were two of the top pitchers that the A's have. Pitching is just every team's sore point this year. Teams seem to be dying more than living with a poor staff. So let's keep an eye on the teams with good starters and a decent bullpen to see if they make the playoffs or put themselves in a position to win. I think that's that's not some kind of bold new theory and criteria on producing a winning team. But I am looking at that team that is hot the final 3 weeks of the season. Pitching and hitting. They've put it all together. They're winning. They're clicking. They're playing consistent baseball. Out of all the possibilities that we have listed as far as teams with good ERA, good starters, good bullpen, decent hitting, hold on to your seats because I think we'll have a wild ending to this year. Well, I think that wraps up today's podcast. Thank you for joining us for our 29th episode of Season 2 of Mo's World, the Baseball Podcast. Our regular schedule for new episodes is every Friday, with each episode lasting approximately 20 minutes. We appreciate your support and encourage you to share the podcast with your friends. Our next episode will be released on Friday, August 15th. We look forward to seeing you then. In the meantime, ask yourself, whose world is it? It's Mo's World.